live stream. I'm back, and I want to start off the video by saying that in order to do this live stream, um, I always have to kind of be sure that whatever we're doing live isn't causing any kind of problems. And due to the fact that a lot of platforms use automated systems now to kind of moderate or kind of categorize certain kind of stuff, it has a high rate of failure. And that is a problem that I've seen on other platforms before, like, for example, on Instagram. On Instagram, there was always this, like, I was posting flower videos, I was posting like 50 flower videos, and 30 of them were accidentally like flagged by them. And that is a problem for the people who follow the rules, people who want to make sure that whatever they do is appropriate. I mean, what I'm doing here, we're sowing out cactus flower hybrids, doing gardening stuff, sowing out cactus seeds. And in my opinion, it is a family-friendly kind of activity that you can do. That is an amazing hobby, a rewarding hobby. When you see these amazing cactus flowers in front of you, and I share a lot of it. I believe in times of AI flowers, it becomes incredibly important that actual people are out there doing stuff, that actual people are online, responding to questions, doing stuff on camera that involves the community, the ability to involve the community. And I greatly love that about the channel. But I also need the security that whatever automated system runs is working well enough that it doesn't cause problems for the channel, because that's unfair. So due to the fact that there's this automated kind of moderation going on everywhere, for the future, I decided we will not discuss certain botanical species anymore. Maybe botanical species in general, it will depend on how things will go on in the future, My first priority is, when we're doing a live stream, is that there are no problems, that everyone enjoys what we are doing here. We're sowing out completely harmless cactus seeds. But, when you are on a platform that uses automation, you're kind of exposed. You're kind of at the mercy of the platform. So yeah, long term, I will no longer discuss botanical species here until things are resolved. Like, I've seen that they kind of saw a stream that we did and have kind of flagged it. So I complained against it, and they are still working on that. But yeah, I want to just say that everything I do on stream has to be like completely family friendly, because that is the kind of approach that I want to do with my channel. I want to post gardening. I want to post flowers. I mean, you've seen the stuff that I've been posting on the channel. So yeah, and the live stream is separate because for one, I'm taking questions. People have the ability to ask me stuff. So for the future, I just want to say that I urge everyone who participates in this to keep in mind that we are not taking certain questions on the channel anymore. Like, long term, I try to do everything in a way that it reaches a wide range of people. I don't want to do anything that is just niche content. I want to produce videos that are actually seen and that can be seen by everyone. So yeah, for the future, I just wanted to say that, for one, I hope that the automated systems that a lot of these platforms use are fair to the creators who put a lot of time into creating streams, put a lot of time into creating videos. And I just hope that long term, we can continue doing it like that. If not, like, if that there's a high rate of false positives, then we might only be able to stream from the garden, doing live streams from the garden. and that would be sad because I really enjoy doing the videos that we're doing right now. Like just being able to respond to problems, questions of people that are sowing out, you know. That is actually the goal. We've sown out a lot of cactus seeds on the channel in the last months, maybe just on stream, giving people the chance to participate. And this is the kind of wholesome gardening content that is also good for mental health. Like when we are doing stuff where we're outside, just enjoying nature and all that, you know. So I hope that whatever system YouTube is running is reliable enough. And until I'm sure that is the case, we will only there will always be certain topics that we cannot discuss on the channel. Not because they are not appropriate, but because I do not trust the automated system enough to be at the mercy of it. So yeah, I just wanted to say that in advance because I really enjoy doing the live stream, and yeah, I want to make sure that we can continue to do it, you know. And I can tell you how it was while I was posting on Instagram, you know, like when we were posting like amazing flower stuff, and constantly their system kept um, like causing problems, flagging stuff where you have to manually um, complain about, you know. So okay, yeah, stuff like that, you know. And the way I see it, I want to make sure that whatever we do here, that it works, you know. And I've just had to block someone from the channel, and I will continue to do that if it's necessary, you know. I just don't like that it is necessary that you have to kind of self-limit what kind of a content you do, or that, you know, you have these trolls that kind of try to just cause problems, you know. But unfortunately, that's also the case sometimes. So yeah, but I'm on stream now. Just wanted to say that in advance, in case, you know, maybe when questions come in, then I might have to say more often that I cannot take the question because the moderation system doesn't allow it, because the moderation system isn't, you know, might misunderstand something. So yeah, so let's continue with the regular live stream. I dropped a container full of seedlings yesterday. And when you drop a container full of seedlings, it instantly causes problems. The cactus seedlings, they are lying everywhere. Some are broken. That is really bad when you kind of have to do that. Like when it happens, you know, when you drop a container full of cactus seedlings, it can instantly mean you lose a lot of them because they are not made to be bent. They don't really have a lot of resources. If something happens and they lose contact with the soil, they will very often just not make it. So yeah, the fact that I dropped these here, that is really bad, and we need to do a little bit clean up. I saw that this one here broke off. Cactus seedling just broke off. Yeah, and there are a few more where I feel like they might be damaged. So we will need to get a piece of wood or get a piece of plastic and manually kind of transplant them or reposition them. What's so so yeah. Okay. I want to continue with the seedlings, and I want to sort a few more out. This one here is broken, bent. And this one here is broken and bent, and this is just from dropping the seedlings once. So that kind of stuff can happen a lot. Just by dropping a container full of seedlings once, you can instantly lose maybe 1/3 of the seedlings that are in there. Yeah, here's another one that's broken. It's really bad to drop the seedlings. I think I made that point. Think I lost just from dropping that seedling container once. We might have already lost like at least half of the seedlings. The closer I look at it, the more it becomes obvious that yeah, a lot of them have been damaged just from dropping them. So I try to save what we can save, but it's really not easy. So yeah, and long term, like I said, if in the future the moderation in the stream will be pretty harsh, I gotta guarantee that whatever we do can be done without stuff that just kind of reduces the fun for everyone. You know, I try to have a somewhat, we're a close community here, a lot of friends. This is a very positive kind of stream, and I want to keep it at that. So in the future we might add more moderators, and you know, you will probably have to live with a lot of comments not being let through, because the moderation has to be so overly sensitive, because you're also always, you know, as a creator, it only takes a few bad apples and it kind of negatively falls back on everyone. So yeah, unfortunately that's not what I want to do, but it's necessary. So yeah, I will continue to transplant seedlings, to move them around, to just try to save what can be saved. And yeah, a lot of them are broken. This one here is broken too. This one here is broken. It's really, really impressive how many seedlings you can damage just by doing that once, you know. And very often when you drop a container full of seedlings, they are covered with soil. So you need to kind of find them first. And the most dangerous thing is that they break off at the root system. Yeah, over here we have 2 that have broken off, also need to be removed. Really unfortunate. Another one broken. This one could be all right. It looks like it's a little bit damaged, but it might recover. Kind of really impressive how damaging it is to just drop a bunch of seedlings. So yeah, just want to say thank you everyone for joining us in the stream. Tomorrow's stream will fall out, will have to be done at a different time. I'm working on my bathroom window, and I also wanna have a chat with YouTube, you know, about their automated systems, so I can understand them more. But yeah, I'll be in the live stream for a good hour today. So happy to take questions if you wanna send something in. Just make sure that, you know, everything stays kind and friendly. I don't want to have like that kind of tone on the channel that seems to become more common now that we have reached a certain wider audience. You know, every now and then comments come in that I have to kind of remove. and I'm only doing this alone. You know, this is a gardening channel kind of, and I would really appreciate if we can reduce the trolling to a minimum. I mean, there are a lot of pages out there that kind of deserve it. This one doesn't. So yeah, we're helping people with just growing stuff, positive kind of channel, and I really want to keep it like that. It's always been like when you reach a wider audience, it instantly becomes a thing that you suddenly have comments by people who don't even know the channel. I think there's no way around it. So yeah, but unfortunately, this means that moderation has to be strict to comply with everything they want here, and it's not really that anything we do is problematic. You know, it's just that automated systems have a lot of room for error, and I don't like that. So I try to always minimize the problems. And like I said, if long term this is a problem, then I would just do the live stream from the garden, and then we will just then I will not be able to take questions anymore. Then I would just be able to, you know, to film the outdoors work, which would be great too, especially in summer. I have, you know, I'm all for that. I enjoy that as well. I believe what we do here is a great thing for the community, to give answers, to be accessible. But yeah, it also has to kind of work. I'm not at this point when a channel is bigger, you have the chance to you have more tools available. You know, friends that help, moderators that help. Maybe we will have to get a few more moderators for the chat, just to be sure, you know, to help a little bit. Yeah. But right now, I'm trying to make it work, and it's not easy, you know, because right now these days a lot of moderation, you don't really have an influence on it, you know, and that is a bad feeling. I don't like that feeling. But yeah, we have a lot of broken seedlings here. A lot. This one too, also broken. I think I had to remove at least 1/3 of the seedlings just from this container, just because I dropped them for 1 second. I put these aside yesterday because I knew that this would be great for the stream. This kind of stuff, because it happens so often that people drop a container full of seedlings, and yeah. We there's no real way to avoid it. Sometimes it just happens. The more seedlings you have, the more problems you can have, and when you transplant them at a very young age, that can already be too much for the tiny fragile roots that they have, that cactus seedlings just have. But unfortunately, that's part of the game. So ideally, in the first 3 weeks, at least 3 to 4 weeks, it's important not to drop the seedlings. Later on, they are a little bit more hardy, but for now, I don't think that we can save most of them. I'm happy if we can save 1/3 of the seedlings in this container. And that's also one of the reasons why I often split them up, why I often split the cactus seeds into different containers, because if you drop one, you still have some kind of safety, that that is all right that you haven't dropped. Even if you are very good at growing from seeds, that can be an issue. Hey Dave, good morning. Good morning. Thank you for joining the stream. I've just been talking about like automated moderation systems and the problems with them. And I also been talking about like the cactus seedlings that I dropped yesterday. Just 1 second, not fully concentrated, not fully focused. And I dropped them instantly. And yeah, I really wanted to stress how common that is. That is a very common problem that we see. Here's another one that's broken. Yeah, and I mean, I also said, I'm not sure if you saw it, but I'm not sure how we will continue like taking questions. I've seen that a lot of the questions like today were kind of troll kind of questions. So if that becomes a problem long term, I might not do the stream anymore like that, you know. I mean, it would be sad, but the reason I'm doing that is also because I want to be accessible. I want to like allow people to ask questions if they run into problems, you know. And yeah, but they also need to make sure that the creators are safe from that in a way, you know, that it doesn't fall back negatively on them. And yeah, so we'll see how it goes long term. Yeah, I'm not sure. I saw that that YouTube had accidentally, in my opinion, fully accidentally flagged the video, a live stream, and right now it can either be like comments that come in that are just troll comments, or maybe they have a problem understanding my dialect, you know, that could be, or I don't know. We'll see. First and foremost, what I'm doing here, I'm doing it for the community, you know, and if it doesn't work like long term, you know, if it becomes a problem because I don't know, you know, like I said, they are running automated systems and it needs to work. When I'm outdoors gardening, you know, just doing my garden work, then there's less chances of just having an accidental, like triggering an algorithm accidentally, like when I'm out, you know, doing gardening work compared to when I'm talking for 2 hours, you know. So yeah, for the future, all botanical species will not be discussed here anymore until I know for a fact that the auto moderator that they use is reliable, you know, because I want to make sure that I will put my time in something that really helps the channel. And yeah, I can only do that if they keep me safe too, you know. When they're running these automated systems, they leave a lot of room for error, and I don't want to have that. So yeah, for the future, I will not be able to comment on a lot of stuff, just not because it's problematic, but just to be safe. Unfortunately, that is also a thing that you have to keep in mind on a channel like that, you know. So, or maybe when I stream, I will stream outdoors in front of the flowers, you know. I'm happy to take the questions now, but there has to be security and protection from all kinds of accidental flags. And you know, I've been doing this for 15-20 years now, and I know how it is, you know. We had problems on Instagram and on Facebook just by using botanical names. Even the genus has sometimes triggered problems. So yeah, I don't care. Then we're not able to discuss certain stuff anymore, and that is sad. But it is how it is, you know. So yeah, I just wanted to say that in advance. I love doing that. I love taking questions. I love talking about God and the world, but um, it also needs to, if I'm doing that and they can't really ensure that they're sometimes working, sometimes not working algorithm misunderstands something, then we just cannot leave room for interpretation. That is how I see it. So yeah, we will continue to sow out and stuff like that. Maybe do more live streams outdoors. Yeah, but this morning I was kind of frustrated, because there isn't anything more family friendly than what we do here, like sowing out, making sure that people stay in touch with nature, and yeah. But long term, we might there will be more situations where I just say I can't take that question. Maybe we will do it. If it doesn't work, maybe I might even do live stream on other platforms. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. But I enjoy doing it here. I love doing it. I don't think that's what it was, Dave. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I just think that a lot of these automated systems still have to be checked by people, by actual people, and they are doing that now. They will look into that now, and I assume that they will realize that it is their system having misunderstood some. It might as well be that my dialect is incomprehensible for it. Like for sometimes when or it could have been like a band shirt that I was wearing. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes long term. I might do the stream on other platforms, or might only do outdoor streams that where I don't talk, or where I just talk into the camera and say, "Hey guys, we're just doing a pollination, having a look at the flowers, that kind of stuff, doing gardening." But we will see. I'm in touch with them about that. I've messaged them. Because I also want to understand what's going on, always. And we'll see how that goes. But tomorrow morning, the stream will not happen because I'm working on the bathroom. It's not because of anything like that. But tomorrow's stream, I need to kind of work on the window, trying to make sure I get a window again. But apart from that, long term, we'll see what we do. I would love to just continue sowing out. It's a great thing. It's a great hobby. It's great advertising for the hobby. It helps people, just when it's dark outside, when things are kind of looking a little bit bleak, we're taking on a positive hobby. And so we will definitely continue to sow out. But in regards to the questions, I might have to sometimes say I can't take the question because I don't trust the system enough. You need to have that security that you can freely reply. I mean, and you guys know me. You guys have known me for 15, 20 years. Everything I do in order to be, to do it in a family friendly way. Because I've asked myself long time ago what I want to do on social media, and I wanted to do something. I wanted to make something that people see, that people can enjoy, that also where there's no problem when it goes into the wider audience, when people talk about that, like all kinds of stuff related to growing cacti. I think it's a completely positive hobby, and I really love what I do, and I enjoy doing these live streams. I enjoy sharing, like bringing the community in every now and then. There's a comment that is just intended to, to draw attention. But in the future, I will just block the account, and that's it. But I mean, I really want to make this work. It is important to me that this hobby that means a lot to me, that I can share it with other people, that I'm able to also go off topic sometimes, be able to just get back to questions. And you sometimes don't have influence on what questions come in, but everything that is, we're already running it at the strictest kind of setting, so everything is already perfect in my opinion. I wouldn't know what to change. So yeah, but of course it can happen all the time that you have to ask for manual review and that stuff. But I really like YouTube in comparison to how it was on other platforms. We had a lot of, you have, I will never understand how a cactus flower can be misunderstood by an auto moderator. I will never understand it. So there's nothing more accessible and more appropriate for the general audience than gardening, cactus stuff. It's such an entirely positive thing, and I want to keep it positive. I want to continue whatever we do here. I mean, we'll see. I never live streamed before. That is something that is new to me. So I live and learn, and I will see how it goes in the next couple of weeks or so. There's a question: any other genus of cacti you like to grow? The problem is that my space is so limited. I currently grow a lot of Sorensia or Lobevia or Pseudolobevia. They're kind of highland Echinopsis. And I do that kind of stuff a lot. And the space is so limited that I just don't have the chance to also bring in a lot of other cacti. I've been sowing out last year, and in the previous years, I've been sowing out a bunch of Luxanthocerois. I've been sowing out everything that we could use to make crosses with. Hageocerois, I've been sowing out a lot. And these things I already have, like there's a certain range in my collection. I tried not to have only one genus. So everything I have a lot of multi-hybrids that involve 2-3 different kind of genera. It is really, I try to be diverse, I try to bring in cacti that haven't been used so often, but I'm also limited by the winter temperatures. So they need to be cold resistant. They need to take the frost. They need to be able to make it through the cold season that I have here. Take a fair amount of heat, of rain and heat. So I'm kind of limited by that. Also because the winter temperature is relatively low. There was a time when I had a huge collection of cacti from Astrophytum to Ariocarpus, everything like very diverse, to Pilosocerois, Oreocerois. I had so many different kind of cacti, but I ended up reducing a lot. Like Melocactus, I had to get rid of a lot. The cold temperature was just not, like, they weren't just able to handle the cold temperature, So yeah, that was unfortunately something that already affected what I've sown out. I just saw that a lot of these cacti from Mexican countries, they don't do well where I live. It's not only the cold temperatures, it's also the rain. And you cannot shield the plants all of the time. If you keep them in the greenhouse, they can kind of like they get too much heat and too little water, because you will never be able to compensate for all the mist, the morning dew that you have outdoors. So yeah, we'll see. But generally speaking, I grow the plants here because of the size of the flowers, because I love the big flowers that they have, and also their capability to survive frost, to survive cold weather, to survive rain. But long term, I want to sow out more than just cactus stuff. Maybe we're sowing out a few chili here and there. Interesting plants, like fruit trees. But again, whatever we do, it will be something that is completely family friendly, no problems. Because that is the general vibe of the channel that I want to have. Because I have no intention to limit myself. Like that, where I say I will just do this genus. Where I say I will only do these kinds of hybrids. I wrote a few books, and I feel like I'm always happy to discuss stuff, but not all is it might be doable on the channel, because I know how easy it is to like have something misunderstood. So yeah, I would try to just find a middle way. We're sowing out amazing hybrids with amazing flowers, good stuff, beautiful plants that I would show on the channel long term, that I would stream when I'm outdoors. A large part of the streaming will not stay that I'm indoors, that I'm sitting indoors. And if I feel like that stream from indoors just causes problems, then it will not be able then I will not be able to do it. Like, I would hate to do it, but we'll see how it goes. This is a big channel. We're doing a lot of stuff, but right now I don't think that sowing out cactus seeds is a problem. So we will continue to do that. Yeah, I consider doing maybe a few daylilies in the future. I've seen a few very beautiful daylilies that other breeders that I'm friends with are sowing out. So maybe we're doing stuff like that. So yeah, in general, everything moves more towards that kind of a channel, like general kind of everything around the garden, everything around what I'm doing here. And I will always take questions. Yeah, but it needs to be without problems. I can't deal with that, So yeah. Tefro cactus, I had a few too. They're amazing, very beautiful. But yeah, it's always about space for me, and I just couldn't guarantee that that I have enough space. I just couldn't guarantee that I have the grow space in winter where they need a good spot. So unfortunately, I got rid of mine. I got rid of so many amazing plants. I once took over this giant cactus collection where we drove through the country and picked it up with a huge truck. It was a truck, like, I don't know how many tons, but 10, I don't know. It was a huge collection that I got from an older gentleman who stopped breeding because he was ill. So I took over the collection. Take care, Dave. And yeah, when I took over that collection, there were so many amazing, huge plants in there, but a lot of them I could not keep because the climate here wasn't appropriate. Like, a lot of the warmer, the species that like it warm, Brazilian cacti like it really warm, or certain kinds of Mexican cacti, they aren't used to the winters that the plants have to survive here. So yeah, okay, I want to continue just working this container a little bit more. I think I got out most of the broken seedlings, but that's it. There might be 1 or 2 that will not make it long term, but I'm trying my best to save them. Yeah. Trying to get them back on their feet, trying to get them back to where they have contact with the soil again. Because that didn't work. Like, I dropped that thing and instantly 15 seedlings, 20 seedlings were gone. Really sad, but it happens. You know, this is something that is so common. It happens to every cactus grower. I don't think there's any kind of cactus breeder who never dropped a cactus seedling, you know? So we'll see. Over here, this is something that I have to remove. Here's a tiny one, like really tiny. Or maybe I will put it on the side, but it really doesn't look like it might make it. We might have to open it up again in case there's any kind of problem. Okay, so I will close it up again. This container now only includes like a tiny part of what was in there, but unfortunately that is just what's happening sometimes. So yeah, let me check on the other seedlings that we have. Okay, a few more. Okay, so let's see what we have here. I've had these all under at the heat source to induce germination, and a lot of them only have 1 or 2 seedlings in them, so that is not good, unfortunately. So here's something where both seedlings are lost. Like, there were just 2 seedlings in there, and both are lost from fungus gnat. So in this case, a seedling is completely like transparent. So that is a sign that the fungus gnat kind of damaged it. I don't think this has anything to do with heat. I believe this is the direct cause of fungus gnats, and unfortunately that is a problem. In the future, we will pasteurize the soil. Maybe tomorrow, when we're doing it, we will just get a little bit of water, hot water, to pasteurize the soil in order to avoid problems with fungus gnats. When I just opened this this bag, one of them flew out. One of them flew out. But yeah, it's too late. Once you have them in the container, it's too late to do much about it. So you can transplant the seedlings, but if you are still waiting for germination in a container, transplanting them would mean you are wasting the seedlings that you already have. Okay, so here we have a few that we can put under the plant lamp. And I don't see fungus gnats. Everything's looking good. You see, this is not a problem that is everywhere in every container. You can sometimes just have bad luck, and it affects the container that you like the most. It's really sometimes a good thing to pasteurize the soil, to make sure that there are no fungus gnats in there. to make sure that there are no slugs in there, because that's all that stuff that can happen. So yeah, these seedlings, I can see that the germination was induced, that the germination took place, but it wasn't really working enough, so they need more time. So I will put these back under the lamp. Over here we have a few seedlings. Unfortunately, a lot of the other seedlings have not come up yet. That will take more time, you know. We'll see how we do that. So here's another fungus gnat. Really not good. So in the future, we will try to reduce that by using hot water to get the soil to the point where fungus gnats that could be in the soil are not in it. A question came in: how do the gnats get in? Normally they should not, but in some cases where you have, like, where the commercial soil, like in this case, for example, this was a soil product that was sold for use on cemeteries, like that black kind of soil that you see, that is so resistant against any kind of moss or algae. That kind of stuff is not a problem when you're working with this particular soil, but it is not specifically sold to sow into it. So maybe they've been kind of treating it differently, giving it a different kind of disinfection than what they do for sowing soil. When I use sowing soil out of the bag, it is very rare that there are fungus gnats in it, because that is a huge problem for sowing soil. It should not be in the soil in general, you know. So when it happens, then that's unfortunate, you know. That is something that could have been prevented by disinfecting it in advance, maybe, you know, with a disinfectant or with hot water, trying to kind of sterilize the soil. But like I explained previously, you can never do full sterile environment when growing cacti from seeds or growing anything from seeds, because most of the pathogens come in with the seeds. But at this point, I believe that some types of soil are not getting the same kind of treatment against fungus gnats that the classic sowing soil gets. And in the next time we are working with sowing soil again, just to avoid that, to save us the step of having to pasteurize every little bit of soil that we use, you know, because we need a lot of soil, we use a lot of soil, and that would mean we are constantly, every day we would have to pasteurize the soil. And when you pasteurize it, you need to let it cool down, and then you already have it open, which means you can get new fungus gnats into the soil after it has been pasteurized. You know, it's just a part of the hobby that happens sometimes. And I usually change the soil when I feel like I got a bag of soil that particularly had problems with it. So yeah, that is, next time we're using sowing soil again. But even with that soil, fungus gnats can be a problem. So we might do, every now and then we might pasteurize the soil too. That's not a bad thing anyway. That is something that can save you the losses that you have by, you know, when you lose seedlings to fungus gnats every now and then. But yeah, it adds time. It adds time to how much you got to do in advance to prepare it. And I've been trying to keep it as simple as possible here. But long term, we will, in the next days, in one of the next live streams, like I said, on tomorrow, the live stream will not take place because I'm working on the bathroom window. But we will do that. We will discuss that this week. We will pasteurize soil. Yeah, we will get some boiling water and try to get it to a point where fungus gnats will not be a threat anymore. You can really, I mean, if once the seedlings are a little bit bigger and you have fungus gnats, you can just transplant them. Of course, you have to make sure that there's no soil that sticks to the seeds, to the seedlings, to the roots. But when you transplant them, you can often get rid of the fungus gnats. So we might do that later on. For now, I say we have fungus gnats in maybe 5 to 10% of the bags. Let's say maybe 80 that we planted, so maybe, yeah, 4 to 8 containers that have fungus gnats. So it's not a huge problem, but it's something, when we're doing it right, we should avoid it, and we will try to do that in the next days. We will get some water, hot water, try to pasteurize it. And I gotta say, every time we're doing that, make sure that you're not getting in contact with the hot water. Don't do it if you can't do it safely. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that you just gotta say today. But we will try to get the soil to a point where fungus gnats would have no chance, even if they had put their eggs in it. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, everything that I've checked here, there are seedlings in them, but only a few, not many. And yeah, I mean, I hope it doesn't get worse. And maybe we are sowing out again sometime soon. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Any general questions? I'm happy to take them, Chat is open. But yeah, if not, we will just discuss what we do on the channel. Sowing out, that kind of stuff. Yeah, and I've been looking around in regards to streaming. So I might, at some point, we might do special events, like where we do stream, where we just discuss one subject and one subject alone. There will be streams when I'm working outdoors very soon now. And yeah, in the future, that might replace the kind of stream that we're doing here, but I really enjoy it. So I try to continue to do this because it's a lot of fun, because it allows the community, when they have questions, when they have problems, to ask, to get kind of help with what they do, So yeah, I enjoy this. We'll try to continue doing that. But at some point, we're also going outdoors, because that is also the heart of the channel. Right now, we're working indoors doing the cactus, the classic winter season for a cactus breeder, which is always sowing out. A lot of cactus breeders are sowing out around Christmas. They start planting in December, and then they grow them until maybe April and move them out maybe May, June, around that time. And that gives them already a little bit of a time advantage when you can move the plants outdoors, where you can save a few steps in between, a little bit, by growing the cactus seedlings over winter, you kind of speed things up at least by one season. Because if you would start sowing out in summer, in spring, then you have a better setup to kind of induce the germination. It's easier to induce the germination in summer when the heat is just optimal for sowing out. But it throws everything back because the seedlings will not reach a safe size by the end of the season. So that kind of throws you back a lot. And that's why a lot of cactus breeders start sowing out in winter. You just have a few more months that can make the difference, like 3-4 months. They can make a huge difference with cactus seedlings. And yeah, that is why it's done like that, why we're doing it like that on the channel too. We will sow them, we will keep them under a plant lamp now. And at some point, I just saw that a question came in, like, are these seedlings able to overwinter next year? They would be, generally speaking. I mean, right now, they are between 2 and 6 weeks old, maybe. Now, if we keep them under the lamp indoors, they will already have a relatively safe size, for maybe the size of a few centimeters, not big, but big enough, maybe like this, you know, just big enough to survive a winter. But they only survive the winter if they get a safe spot, if they get sunlight where they are, but not too much sunlight. If you water them on a regular basis, you know, if they are kept dry over winter, then when it's cold, you know, you can overwinter very small cactus seedlings, but everything needs to be, like, it depends on the environment. It depends on what kind of a setup you have, you know. If you want to overwinter them in a greenhouse, they will do it just fine, but they need an exposed spot in the sun, a good spot that isn't surrounded by other plants, where they do not shield everything, where they don't take away the sunlight. That is kind of important. Yeah, but generally speaking, you could overwinter the seedlings after maybe 6 months. You can already have them at a point where they safely come through winter, but it's not a given. It depends on every environment, and if a spot gets too hot, then you can lose them. If a spot has too much sunlight, then you can lose them. If it gets too cold or rainy, cactus seedlings do not have the same tolerance against a little bit of cold water, cold rain every now and then. The smaller cactus is, like, the more seedling sized stuff you have, the more dangerous it is. So long term, we will try to keep them indoors for as long as possible. At some point, we have to take them out of the bags, and then we have to start watering them indoors, spraying them. They have to get light from the lamp. If you have them indoors, and if you want to keep them indoors, it is really recommended that you get a good lamp, a good grow lamp, so they have a little bit of light. They just need light. And the same is true when you try to overwinter them later on, when they are a little bit bigger. Don't make the mistake to raise them, to do everything right indoors, and then move them into an environment where you cannot fully control everything. You need to be able to control the amount of rainwater, drip water that they get. Control. You need to be careful with the fertilizer, you know, because they might not take the full dose of fertilizer. And when you have them around larger plants, that might be a problem. When you fertilize the big ones and they get a dosage in a concentration that is too harsh, that can be a problem. But yeah, I mean, you would be surprised by how hardy small cactus seedlings already are. If you can guarantee that the basic necessities like light, like being free of frost, a little bit of cold weather is not a problem for seedlings, but the moment you have frost, it can be too much. The moment they get wet, they get rained on, and it's cold, then you can lose them. And it always depends on what you are growing, what you are sowing out. These here, they take a little bit of frost, maybe down to -2, -3, even as a seedling. But the colder it gets, the higher the chance that something will happen. I hope this answers the question. So yeah, I will move these back to the heat source. And then we'll see, maybe I will get a few more seedlings that we can check on the channel, just to see if they are doing all right. Okay. So let's see how they developed under the lamp in the last days. Let's see if there are fungus gnats. And I'm sure you noticed that we are checking the seedlings all the time. Yeah, here's a fungus gnat. But the seedlings look great. Sometimes just because you have a fungus gnat in this thing doesn't mean that there are problems. Very often the cactus seedlings will just grow. They will grow fast enough that the fungus gnats will not be a real thing that will throw them back, but it can happen. We've definitely lost 1 or 2 seedlings by now to fungus gnats, but I just don't really see a lot of problems right now. They could happen later on, and at some point we will have to transplant them in another pot. But for now it's okay. But yeah, one thing that I can really tell you is that long term we will get back to sowing soil, and we will do pasteurization of soil on the channel. That is something that I want to show in view of the problems with fungus gnats, because a lot of people have them. They are just incredibly common. Also because it is very easy for, like when you are getting bagged soil, that it is contaminated not only in the factory where you get it, but also at your house. The moment you open it up, you need to take very good care that there's no tiny hole where a fungus gnat could come in and contaminate the whole soil. Could be a huge problem. So yeah, over here, check it out. Mostly we just have healthy seedlings, and if it happens that the fungus gnats become a problem on some of them, then we will transplant. I do not fear to transplant tiny seedlings. Sometimes you have to do it. But it's unnecessary. It's an unnecessary risk. It's an unnecessary step that I wanted to avoid. But yeah, if you only sow out a little bit, you might be able to get the soil clean, maybe in a microwave, something like that. But again, it needs to be safe. Do it safely, whatever that means. Be careful that every time there's heat involved, it also adds a little bit of risk. So be careful about that. Don't injure yourself trying to like, I don't know, pressure cook cactus soil, I mean, you can do that. You can almost get the cactus soil to a somewhat sterile point, like not sterile, but close to it. But it involves a long time of pressure cooking soil. So yeah, and I want to say, like, about the stream, a lot of people that join the stream that do not know me, that do not know who I am. I just want to say that, I mean, I've come a long way. I've been a cactus breeder for 25 years minimum. And I'm at a point in my life where I just want to share knowledge, be in touch with the community. And what I'm doing here, I consider something like my victory lab. You know, I've already like done a lot on social media, and I kind of reached, I was going viral with it. I was successful with it. But what I'm doing now is kind of personal to me. I enjoy doing that. You know, I enjoy being in touch with the community. I enjoy being able to be accessible. People can ask me, they can, if they want to have a chat with me, they can join my stream and talk with me. But I have a lot of health problems, you know, and I'm not really making a secret out of it, you know. The way I see it, every year that I'm able to do this is a gift for me. And I kind of also see it like that, it is also good for the community for every year that I'm able to do this. And there might be a point when you know, I'm no longer here, and that can happen from one day to another. So I want to make it very clear, when I'm doing stuff like this stream, it matters to me, you know. I try to do it right. I try to do good. I try to do the right things in what I do in my content. I try to stand for the right values and that kind of stuff, because I know when you are when I don't plan long term, so it matters more to me what I do every single day. And I really enjoy doing that kind of stream stuff, you know. But you know, I also see that every now and then we reach kind of the mainstream audience, and there are a lot of people who do not know me. I sometimes, when I speak, you know, I had so much problems. I had to kind of relearn how to talk again. I had immense muscle problems, and the fact that I'm still able to do these videos, to do these live streams that go on for 1.5 hours, they cost me a lot of energy every time. So I just wanna say that, like, when we get a fair amount of trolling here and there, that kind of stuff, I just want to say that I really, it's hard to say it in the way that it does come across the right way, but I'm always a little bit sad when I reach, suddenly when things have a wider audience, when it goes into a wider audience, and there's these kinds of, I don't know, I can only say trolling kind of comments, you know. So I just wanted to say that it is a big thing for me that I'm still able to do that, and I hope that I will be able to do that in a way that allows me to do it without the kind of, like, you know, negative experiences that are so common on social media. I tried this to be a positive space, you know, because I've almost been gone, you know. I was almost no longer here. I've had a few health scares, and I've been way beyond that. I was at the point where I thought I was no longer able to do this. And the fact that I'm doing live stream now, again, it's a big thing for me. So I just hope that with whatever problems we have here, that they will be long term, that this thing will get under control, because it's an entirely positive thing what we are doing here. It is intended to help a lot of the people who watch my stuff, who watch my videos. They know, like, the backstory, you know, that they know everything that goes on behind the channel. The fact that I'm posting all these videos, like, I post so much because I think every year could be the last, okay? So I just hope that YouTube gets their algorithm under control again. because I enjoy that. I enjoy being here, you know. So every now and then, when we suddenly have like the kind of goofy answers and kind of goofy stuff in the chat, I try just to tell you about who I am. You know, I've had to fight all my life to get here. Every day, every morning, I had to spend years in poverty, just living for the art form or just living for the hobby, just showcasing the hobby, just being here for the hobby. Or I've come a long way, you know, and it was never easy. It was I lived so hard that it just is the case that I take every year as a gift. So yeah, I just hope that, I don't know, it will work long term, you know, because what we're doing here is great. I know that. I see what this channel, I see the potential that the channel has. I mean, and I try to do it as long as I can. Okay. But my health isn't great. So yeah, I mean, if every now and then I say something that might sound a little bit funny, that might sound a little bit goofy in the way I say it, it is because I don't have the muscle energy often. And the longer I do a video, the more difficult it becomes for me. But yeah, I'm just saying this because apparently a lot of people have found the channel recently and might not be aware of the backstory. So yeah, just doing the live stream for me is a huge thing, and I love it, and I appreciate it. I enjoy that so many people participate. I enjoy the questions that I get. You know, I would love to continue like that. And yeah, but every now and then, I mean, stuff that I have problems sometimes just talking, you know, on some days when it's difficult, you know, on a difficult day, and that can happen too, you know. So it just, it's the way it is, you know. The fact that I'm still here, I consider a gift, and I just wanted to point that out, you know. Like I have no intention to do this channel like the way, I mean, I had no idea how streaming actually works, you know. It is still a new form to me, and I try to make it work. I try to experiment with it, and yeah, I find it important every now and then to tell you about who I am, because a lot of people know me from other social networks, but now apparently, when the moment you enter wider, like you are visible, a video goes viral, you suddenly have all these people that do not know you, and they might think I talk a little bit weird, you know. And that is the kind of stuff that I wanted to say, you know. But yeah, apart from that, I really enjoy the stream. It is fun to me. It allows for a very interactive experience, and sometimes that can also be negative, you know. So I just want to remind everyone who participates here that this is a positive space, that this is a space that was made possible by just, I don't know, a lot of energy, a lot of willpower. It takes me a lot of willpower to do this every day, you know. And I hope I can do it long term. That's all I wanted to say, you know. Every now and then, yeah, I kind of get disheartened, you know, when something doesn't work the way I want it, or when there are problems, like with these auto moderators, you know. So a lot of the stuff that is done on the channel it's just completely family friendly stuff, you know, and it's for a reason. Because it is like, I really want to do something with the channel. I really see potential. I think it's a great hobby. And what I'm doing here, I mean, I've been doing it so long, and I've been almost gone so many times. So this was the fact that I'm doing this is a celebration, you know. I'm celebrating every time I'm going on stream. And I don't want to make a secret out of that. You know, I want it known. So yeah, I think that was important to say for me. And when we're like in summer, the next summer that's coming, we're going out and filming the flower flush. We're streaming flowers, we're streaming just nature and all that. And that is the kind of stuff that I want to do. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, okay? So, yeah, let's see what we have here. A few more seedlings that I want to check. So, okay, in here, a lot of very young seedlings. And here's a huge piece of soil that broke off that we might have to remove because it covers seedlings. You cannot have like anything that presses onto seedlings. And when the soil kind of turns into these clumps, large clumps that get loose and kind of shield seedlings from sunlight, that is bad. You want them to be able to receive to be able to grow naturally, get a lot of sunlight. We put them under the lamp, and if there's anything in the container that kind of shields the light, you need to remove it. Like what we did right now. So yeah. Apart from that, everything looking good. There are a few seedlings that look like they might be variegated. But it's too early to tell. Maybe 95% green seedlings and 5% reddish white seedlings. So yeah, and if you have any kind of questions, happy to take general questions. So over here we have a bunch of seedlings that are tiny, really tiny. I don't think they will make it. But I will transplant them somewhere into the corner of the container in case we would lose them every now and then when there are tiny seedlings that are just not big enough to make it. They can get a fungal infection. They can cause a fungal infection. So when I see something where I'm not 100% sure if I want to, where I don't want to keep it out because I feel like it might have a chance, but I still feel like it might develop a fungal infection, then I move it away from other seedlings. I move it to the corner of the container. And yeah, we're doing it here. Most of the seedlings look great, but there are always these 1, 2 where you feel like, this could become a fungal infection, you know? And those I always move right away. I either take them out when I have doubt that something will make it, I take it out, or I will transplant it into a spot that looks a little bit safer. A question came in, have you been listening to any good songs recently? Let me think. I'm currently still listening to a band called Soap and Skin. That is a Austrian band, and they did a few really good cover versions of popular songs, and I really like those. I'm currently mostly listening to songs that I already knew, where I really enjoyed it. I'm currently like listening to Talking Heads. I find the lead singer and you know the guy who plays the guitar amazing. Geisen is really on a great level. Really nice. Like I've seen a live performance of the band Talking Heads, and they were really, really awesome. The guy was just playing the guitar, and it was insane. Like I was very impressed. So yeah, that is the kind of stuff that I'm currently listening to. Nothing really that is popular. Listening to a lot of heavy metal kind of stuff. early Metallica albums, stuff that I kind of never really looked into when I was younger. I'm on that kind of tour where I bought me a book of the 1,000 best albums that you should listen to before life is over. And I'm doing a lot of that kind of stuff. I'm trying to currently I'm watching a lot of movies that where I always wanted to watch them, or where there's a lot of, like, people say that you have to see them. I will watch Requiem for a Dream next, and I will do a lot of Kurosawa movies that I want to watch, like the kind of art stuff. I want to watch a few more Martin Scorsese movies, and stuff that you really need to listen to before life is over. And the way I live, you kind of take more, whatever you do during the day takes more importance, because I have that bad health. So I try to do stuff now, because you never know. So I'm watching a lot of stuff right now that I always wanted to watch. I've been watching The Sopranos again. I finally finished The Wire, a TV show that I always wanted to finish, and I really liked it. Yeah, and the same is true with music. I have a bunch of albums that I want to listen to, and I'm also listening to like stuff like Journey, like classic kind of rock music, old school. I'm trying to fill the holes in my, like, there were always all these albums from a time before my time that I never really listened to. So I try to kind of open myself up to music, like just learn a little bit. I was recently kind of even opening up to stuff like jazz, what I never really liked, the kind of music, or blues, stuff that in the past I never really took the time to really look into and find the time to get the really nice diamonds in the rough. And that is a lot. I do a lot of that right now. Every year I just live differently. If you ever had a health scare, or a feeling that where you see how time flies. So I just do stuff that I never did in the past that I always wanted to do. Yeah, like I said, I'm really sorry, but we cannot have these kinds of discussions on the channel. So I'm sorry, but yeah, if questions come in about botanical species, I will not be able to comment on them anymore. Like, we'll see how it goes long term, but this has to be a 100% family friendly channel. So unfortunately, a lot of questions that go into certain directions I cannot take. I'm sorry, but this is on the web space of YouTube, and I respect that. I respect that they give me the chance to do this here. So yeah, every now and then, when a question comes in, I can't do it, but yeah, I just recommend growing cacti, that they aren't really different. Like when you're growing from seeds, all kinds of cacti. I mean, there are differences between certain kind of very, very difficult cacti, but what we're doing here, what we're sowing out, it works. It is universal, the kind of knowledge of sowing out. You can always apply it to everything you wanna grow. So yeah, we're just doing this general kind of cactus growing stuff, where a lot of it is focused on flowers. Also because how social media is, always everything has to be perfectly family friendly, and it kind of limits discussion, but it's also important to be inclusive for me. Like I said, I've seen how it is. I've been posting my stuff on other platforms too, and there will always be these kinds of subjects that will trigger an auto moderator, and here I really want to avoid it. So yeah, but again, I appreciate everyone who participates in our stream. I wish I could, like, would be more flexible in discussing all kinds of stuff, but then again, they would have to check every video manually. The moment they are using automatic moderators, you are always at risk of triggering something, a word list, and I don't want to do that. But yeah, so let's have a look at more seedlings that I brought here. And then, I guess I'll do another 10 minutes or so. And then I might have to stop because the muscle problems become too much again. Yeah. But I'm usually, like, when I'm doing the live stream, it's usually around 1.5 hours. That is the time frame where I start to notice it becomes more difficult. I've had a very hard Lyme disease infection, like a really bad one. And it was really rough for a while. Where I lived, I just have a lot of ticks around. They're everywhere, and it's hard to avoid them. And yeah, so I've been really having problems with it. So it kind of, every time I'm doing a too long video, or I'm doing, it becomes a little bit too hard. But in most of the cases, I have it under control now. I have recovered a little bit. And it's been a long road to here to get to this point again where we can do this, So yeah, I'm already happy that I can do a video this long. But it's getting close to the point where we're gonna, end it, also because the camera only films something like, I have noticed that my smartphone battery, it usually starts to give me a warning about the battery after 1 hour and 41 minutes. I just had two live streams that were 1 hour and 41 minutes, and every time the smartphone camera kind of ended it, So it's funny that you can see, like, that is roughly the length that I'm able to do a live stream, even if I wanted to do longer. But yeah, I might change the office very soon. Yesterday I started streaming from the office upstairs. But down here we can freely work with the seedlings. We can chat a little bit more with the seedlings, show them into the camera. I can stand up and get new ones, and that wouldn't be possible if I would do it from upstairs. So yeah, but we'll see how it goes. Just doing the live stream and deciding everything on the fly. So yeah, over here also. And check this out. You can see that there are a bunch of seedlings that are huge and some that are tiny. In comparison, that is, like, it's fascinating that every time you sow out, you can get seedlings that are twice the size of the other seedlings, I will do so. Can you please give Mika and Kami pets and cuddles? I will do so. They are waiting for me already. And I'm sure they are looking forward when I'm done with the stream again. Mika is currently just a little bit, she had a long weekend. She spent a little bit time outdoors doing walks. And yeah, today she's still a little bit tired, but I will do so. I will let her know. Thank you for participating in the stream, and thank you for making this so special for me. I always appreciate it, I always appreciate that people take time in their day for participating here. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to see the community grow. That is why I also, I'm kind of open about problems that we encounter along the way. I always try to talk about the stuff that's going on, and because otherwise I know people would notice every now and then when I talk there are problems. Unfortunately, life hasn't been easy. So when I do, and I mean, I lived hard. I had a rough life, and me doing the videos right now, the fact that I'm able to, that I have worked long enough and I've did good enough work that such a big audience is participating in the streams are already a huge thing for me. And I want to make sure we can continue doing it. I want to make sure we will be able to do it outdoors. So we'll see how it goes, like with YouTube, and what we can discuss, what kind of questions we can discuss on the channel. We'll see. In general, I will always play it safe. I will always make sure that whatever we're doing doesn't really cause problems for the channel. So I thank you all for understanding that, for understanding that that it's YouTube, and YouTube makes the decisions and makes the rules. You're kind of like at their mercy. So I just hope that whatever they're doing will be just and fair, and we will be able to do this, in a normal way, where we can just discuss, where we just can take questions about problems growing cacti and stuff like that. And so yeah, but yeah, I want to come to an end. I mean, if you have any more questions, I'm happy to take them. If not, I will be back. I'm not sure when. Tomorrow morning I will walk on my bathroom, trying to get a bathroom window again, because it just fell down. So we will try to reattach the window. If that doesn't work, then we'll see. And I will probably do another live stream later today. Maybe tomorrow we will do a live stream for the audience that is overseas, like that is in a different time zone. So maybe around 6 like PM Berlin time. I'm not sure. It's always different in other time zones, but yeah, that is the kind of time that I currently have in mind to maybe do the live stream tomorrow a little bit later. So yeah, that will probably happen. I'm not sure when, but around 5, 6 maybe. I mean, it is possible that it falls out if the stuff with the window becomes a huge problem, like during the day. But if not, I will take the live stream yesterday, just do it at a later time. And yeah, that would also give people the chance to participate who haven't been able to do it right now, because they are in a time zone where it's night. I don't want people to get up in the middle of the night. I would feel a guilty conscience if that were to happen, But so yeah, just know that tomorrow's live stream will be delayed, or we do another one at the day after, doing a little bit longer the day after. Okay. So thank you for participating, guys. I appreciate it. I'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow, and I might do more live stream outdoors in the future, especially if I feel like whatever, like due to troll kind of comments or whatever, this kind of stuff might be too difficult. Then we might do it outdoors. We'll see. Just doing garden stuff, flower stuff, which is my main plan for the channel anyway. Like with the live stream, I just want to put the camera on a plant, on a flower, and let the insects fly around on it, have the nature sounds in the background. I want to have a very positive kind of live stream, no matter what we do, whether we do it indoors or outdoors. So yeah, thank you guys for participating. I'll be back tomorrow, and I enjoyed it. I appreciate it. I appreciate that you are understanding, that you have like patience with me when I talk a little bit slower, when I have problems forming words. I appreciate that, that this allows me to do that. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it, and I'll be back. Thank you, guys.